Hi guys, welcome to FoodSafe. My name is Paddy, and today I'm going to be running you through our traceability module. So when you log into the FoodSafe platform, you'll come onto the dashboard here, and when you come over here, simply click on traceability, and that will upload our full traceability module. So this will be a full in-depth tutorial showing you all the key features that we have on our traceability module. So when you first get started and the traceability module opens, just like everything else on the platform, it will load with nothing in it, essentially. So you need to go on and start uploading all of your information. And when you first get started, you need to start from right to left. So we'll leave the allergen matrix until the end because that will auto-load for you when you start inputting all of your data into the platform. But we'll start with our raw materials. So when you click on raw materials, this is where you want to start uploading your key materials, your key ingredients that you use on a daily basis to produce your products. So it's as simple as quickly coming in here and adding a raw material. Now, like I said, when you get started, you're not going to have anything in this dropdown, but you can quickly come to the plus sign and just simply write in whatever it is that you use. And you can be as specific as you want with the materials that you're adding in as well. But let's just say for now, it's flour. So we're going to come in and say, I've had a shipment of flour and I had 1,000, and I want to say I want this to be recorded in kilograms. You can have it in milligrams, units as well if you want. So units is a key one as well. So let's say if you wanted to keep track of your bottles, for example, you can say that we had 1,000 units or 1,000 bottles. So that can be quite handy there as well. Expiry, so come in here, add your expiry date. Let's say it was the 16th, 2027. And you can come in here and you can enter your own batch code. So we can say it's flour. And it's a best before, not used by date. You can also come in here and add in any comments that you want, anything that you need to be associated with this raw material that you're adding in. So that's quite handy to be there. So let's go ahead and save that. So when you come in here now, so you can see a bunch of other ones that I have. I've uploaded these other raw materials onto the platform, but you can see the flour that we've just put in there. Again, just like a records module, you'll see a timestamp associated with who entered this key raw material on what day. So you can keep everyone accountable and see exactly who's doing what on your platform. So you can also see that the expiry date is coming up green if that's going out of date, or if it's out of date, that will come up as red. So it's nice and easy for you to see. Now, if one of these was out of date and you didn't get to use it all and you can't continue to use it, you can simply come in here and say archive. And when you click archive, it's going to bring up why you're archiving this. So you can simply say that it's out of date. We can't use it anymore. You can do whatever you want. And then when you actually click into your archive here, you'll see your archived materials, and you'll have the notes associated with that as well, so you can keep track of everything that's going on. Another key important feature here is our alert me feature. So this is exactly the same as the records module, but again, it allows you to keep track of who's doing what on your platform. So if you wanted to be alerted to somebody adding a new raw material on, with your raw material, deleting a raw material, you can make sure that you'll be alerted to any of that. So you can come in here and control that here, which is great. And again, it's exactly the same as the records module. So you come in and put the title in here. You can send the alert directly to yourself or to whoever else that you want. And just like the records module, on the dashboard, you will get your alerts here as well. So all of your alerts will be on the dashboard. They'll also be in your notifications module, and they'll come up under your alerts. And we're going to run through this as well, guys, but they'll show up here so you can see that. And it will also be sent to that email directly, which is great. And for whatever reason, if you need to, you can export all of this information individually, save it anywhere else, or just send it on to anyone who you need to send it on to. So that's good. And you can also come and search for any of your raw materials. So let's say if you had 1,000 raw materials that you've put in and you want to look for like green tea, that will pop up. Or if you want to look for a particular batch, you can say green tea, and then those batches will come up. So you can search really easily and quickly for any of that information that you need. Perfect. So now that you've entered your raw materials, you're going to come in and you're going to click on recipe and ingredients. So here is where you're going to create your recipe with your ingredients. Now, again, nice and simple to be able to do that. So you can come in here and say add a new product. So let's say we're going to put in cake, just because. We're going to put in cranberry cake. And then an internal product code can be anything that you need it to be. And you can also select the unit that you want it to be recorded in. Now, because it's an individual item, I'm going to put this down as a unit. So I'm going to put down a unit, which essentially means that we're producing like one cake. So this recipe is a recipe to produce one cake, essentially. And then you can also come in and upload an image if you'd like, which is nice and simple and easy to do. Just click on that, pop up. Let's just put something random in here for you. And then you're going to click save. Then you're going to come into the next section, which is your recipe information. And then this is where you're going to enter in all of your ingredients. So your raw materials that you've just entered, when you click on here, they're going to show up here for you. So we're going to go here and we're going to click flour, and we're going to say, and because we've entered flour as a kilogram, when you're creating this, it will stay in that unit so that the system can keep track of what's going on essentially. So if you needed 500 grams, just put in 0.5 as an example. Going to come back in here and we're going to select sugar. And we're going to do 0.6 grams, 600 grams, and we're going to go in and we're going to select, let's say, cranberry pieces. And again, we're going to say it's going to be 123 grams, let's say, just as an example. Now, one thing that I want to quickly explain is if you produce some of your own ingredients, which is quite cool. So if, for example, the easiest way for me to explain this is maybe if you produce pizza, and let's say you produce your own tomato sauce for your pizza that you create, you can essentially come in here and create a recipe on the platform for your tomato sauce. You're going to put in all of the ingredients that you use to create that tomato sauce. And then you're going to go in the next step after this, you'll see that you'll do a batch run. So when you go through and produce your tomato sauce, that will be on the system then. You say, right, we've produced 10,000 liters of tomato sauce. And when you come in here and you say, now you're creating your pizza, as part of your recipe, you can say add a product as an ingredient. So your tomato sauce will be here, and you can say, it would say like tomato sauce on here. You can click tomato sauce and you can add that into this recipe, which is great. So anyone who uses their own products as ingredients, very handy to be able to do that here as well. So then recipe instructions, be as detailed as possible here. This is where you want to outline essentially everything and how you're going to produce that product. So it's something that your staff members, for example, can keep track of and use to understand how they produce the product. And it's also key for your standard agencies as well. They want to see all of that information is there nice and neat and organized. So we're not going to go through that because it's take forever, but you're just going to go and do that. You can also come in here and say finished product specifications. Now this can be, for example, your nutritional information, for example. But if you don't want to put anything in there, that's fine. We have also given the option to upload your product specification sheet, which is brilliant. So you can simply just click that, upload a file associated with your product, and then that will be connected to this recipe. So whenever you need it at a later date, it will also be downloaded and all that kind of stuff as well, which is great. So we're going to go ahead and save that. Now, next step and final step that it brings you through is to set up your allergens and your storing requirements. So you'll see that your ingredients list automatically populates here for you, which is great. So this is just so you can see, okay, what's in here, so you can simply and easily, for you, identify what allergens that you might have. Now, we know that there's no allergens in the list, but let's say when you're creating cakes, you're going to have milk as an example, let's say, and eggs, and let's just say tree nut, because why not? So that's there. And then storing requirements, you can put in anything, and again, be detailed, but that's that there. And then we're going to go ahead and click save. Now, that has now created that recipe for that product. So the product name is cranberry cake. And when you click here, you can go back in and you can edit it if you need to, but you can also just click in, double click that, and it's going to bring up all of this information nice and simple for you to be able to see what the information is, what the recipe is, so your staff members can come in and say, okay, right, the recipe is that amount, that amount, that amount, and this is what we need to do. So all of that information will be here for them to follow and easily access, and all of that custom information will be there as well for you. Now, when you create your recipes, that will auto-populate your allergen matrix. So if we click into the allergen matrix, you'll see the cranberry cake has been populated here, and you can see that it's auto-populated what allergens are associated with that product, which is really handy and really cool. So that's a lovely feature for everyone to have. It just means that you don't have to worry too much about creating the allergen matrix. You can just understand that it's going to be auto-populated for you, nice and simply. Now, in here, you have the same functionalities as the raw materials. You can search for anything. So you can search a product code if you wanted to. You can search for by product name and stuff. So nice and simple. If you had 1,000 products there that you created and you needed to change anything, you can do that there. The Alert Me features are here as well. Again, set up exactly the same way. A title, who you want that alert to be sent to, and what changes you want to be notified by. So if anyone added a new recipe, or if anyone modified a recipe, if you want to keep track of all of that, you can set up those alerts for yourself there. And again, you can also export all of this information independently in case you needed to send it to anybody. So that's perfect. Now, once you set up your recipe and ingredients, you can then come into the packaged products and you can now produce a new batch of your product. So we can quickly come in here, click on new batch, and this screen is going to open. Now, when you come in here and you select the product that you created in your recipe and ingredients, so we created the cranberry cake, click on cranberry cake. You're going to say, right, we produced 50 units, so 50 cakes. That was a manufacturing day, so it automatically puts today, but if you need to put another date, you can. Batch code for these particular products, you can put in. The expiry date, so let's say it's in a few months. I'm going to put that down there. Time would automatically come in up as well. You can put that time as needed. It can be used by or best before. And comments again here. So this again, you can use for anything in particular that you need to use. You need to comment on that happened during the production run. So for example, if you weigh out all of your products that you produce, you can put the weights in here. If something happened during the production run, like a glass bottle broke, you can put that information in here as well to keep track of what happened during that production run for this particular batch, essentially. So that's great. Nice area to put in there. And when you select your product, all of those ingredients that you've outlined in your recipe and ingredients will auto-populate down here. So this is where we come down and we say, right, during this production run, this is how much flour we used, and it'll auto show the expiry date of that flour, and it will also show you how much you have left, what the balanced quantity of that ingredient is. So we said that it was 500 grams from memory. So we're going to say, I mean, it's not going to be right, but we're just going to say we used 999. So then we're going to come down here and we're going to select the batch for the sugar. I'm going to select the batch there. It's going to show you what you have. And let's just say we've used all of that as well. Cranberry pieces, there we go. And it says we've got 20 kg of that left. So we're going to say we used 2 kg as an example. Now, here I'm going to show you an example now of something else. So let's say for the sugar. Now we don't have it, but I'm just going to show you an example. Let's say for this batch, there was only 900 grams left, but we needed 1,000. And you had multiple batches of sugar in your raw materials. What you'll do then is when you come down here and you're like, right, well, we've already used all the sugar associated with that batch. You can come in here and you can say, add an ingredient. And that's going to pop up here. Now you're going to come in here and say there'll be sugar again, essentially, and associated with that sugar, there'll be another batch. So let's say that's the batch that we use, but let's say it was E002. I'll keep this SG002. You're going to select SG002, for example, and it will come up saying that there was 20,000 kg left, and then you're going to come in here and select the remaining balance. So if you need 1,000, you now come in here and say 100, if that makes sense. So that's how you would do that in that instance. If you had multiple batches that you needed to use for one particular batch within your production run, that's how you would do that, which is quite nice. So now that we have all of that completed and all of the information entered nicely, we're going to go ahead and click save. Now this is going to come up and say, are you sure that all the quantities that you've used are correct for this particular batch run? Because once you actually go ahead and enter this, saying that these are the quantities that we've used, you're not going to be able to go back and edit it because it's going to pull all of that information off of the system so you can keep track of all of how much raw materials you have, etc., etc. So just be really sure that that's correct. So we're going to go ahead and click save. And then that's going to come up and it's going to showcase this is the cranberry cake. We produced 50 units. The expiry days, I think I went back and changed something. Didn't enter the expiry days. You can edit this part. So let's just say 17th. There we go. And we're going to click save. But if you try to come in here and edit it, you won't be able to. So you can't change these aspects, unfortunately, once it's saved. But you can edit some of this information up here. So we're going to save that. And you'll see that that's come up here now with the expiry days, etc. So really nice and handy. Now, one thing that you can do is, let's say one of your staff members went ahead and they saved all of that information. They said, yes, everything is right, it's fine. And then they realized, oh my God, actually, no, it wasn't right. What do we do? You can come in here and you can delete that production batch that you've just completed. So you can come in and delete that. And when you delete it, all of this that you've used, all of these quantities that you've used will automatically go back into the balanced quantity. So as an example, the cranberry pieces will go back up to 20, etc., etc. So that's one thing that you can do. So if someone makes a mistake, you can delete the entire thing and then just redo it again, the correct information in there. So you don't need to stress out too much in that way. Some of the other key features here as well, just as before, you can come in here and you can search for any of your products that you need. You can search by batch, etc. So that's really handy. Again, the alert feature is here, so you can do exactly the same thing. You can be notified if someone creates another product. So if, let's say, you're not on the production floor, but you want to be notified that they have actually done that run that you know is supposed to be done today, you can say that you want to be alerted when new records are added immediately. So when they add that production run, you'll be notified saying a new production run has been completed for cranberry cake, for example. So you can keep on top of them. Again, you can also export all this information independently. And like I said, you can edit the top information, but not the ingredients, but you can delete it if something dramatic has changed. So this module is really handy as well, guys. So it allows you to keep track of all of your raw materials, your recipes and ingredients, and all of your new batches that you produce within your business, which is really handy. And it auto-populates your Allen matrix as well. So you know that you don't have to worry about this. It's just going to be there. And if anyone asks, you can simply show them that or download it if needed. Now, the final part that I forgot to mention here, guys, is that the package product part of the traceability module is actually mobile responsive. So that means that when you want to add a new batch via the FoodSafe mobile responsive version, you'll be able to do that on the go. And I'm just going to quickly show you what that looks like. So when you come into the mobile version of FoodSafe, this is what you're going to see. Now, this icon down here is where you're going to access the traceability section for the packaged product. So you're going to be able to do exactly what we just did on the desktop version, but you're going to be able to do it right here on your mobile. So this can be yourself while you're on the production floor. It can be one of your staff members as well if needed. So they can do this very efficiently and immediately via their phone. So it's exactly the same process. You come in and you select your cranberry cake, you do the quantity, you go down manufacturing date, the batch code, the comments, etc. And this is where you're going to find your ingredients. So you can see ingredients, flours in kg. You can come in and select how much you want. Sugar in kg, cranberry pieces in kg as well. Once all of that information is filled out, just like on the desktop version, you're going to click save, and that's going to do exactly the same thing. And it's going to go ahead and it's going to create that packaged product in that row that we just created as well. But that's there now for you guys. So nice and simple, really handy for you and your team members as well. So that is our traceability module, everyone. I hope you find it really useful and really helpful. But if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at myfoodsafe.co. Enjoy and talk to you soon.